Imagine your consciousness trapped on a single point, moving continuously forward along a line through a dark, featureless void. In the 11th century, the Persian philosopher Nasir Khusraw mapped this exact predicament. His masterwork, Zad al-Musafir, or Provisions for the Traveler, serves as a survival manual for human consciousness. Khusraw begins with a brutal assessment of our physical reality. Humans are generated from dead elements. We are granted temporary animation only to find ourselves immediately locked into a continuous, inescapable cycle of physical growth and inevitable decay. This makes every human being what Khusraw calls the traveler. We are entities forced onto a cosmic highway where stopping, resting, or stepping off the path of time is physically impossible. Surviving a one-way trip toward physical dissolution requires specialized equipment. Khusraw argues we need provisions, not literal food or water, but deep esoteric truths extracted from the mechanics of reality itself. Khusraw defines time strictly as a measurement of motion, dividing a continuously accumulating past from a depleting future. Between them sits the barzakh, the now, a boundary with zero actual dimension. It's like an infinitely sharp line perfectly positioned between brilliant sunlight and deep shadow. This precise mechanical breakdown of time echoes across continents. 7 centuries earlier, the philosopher Saint Augustine of Hippo wrestled with the exact same problem. Like Khusraw's zero-dimension barzakh, Augustine realized that the present possesses no physical duration. He concluded that time exists merely as a distension, or stretching, of the human mind. 2 entirely distinct philosophical traditions arrived at the same reality. Human consciousness is precariously balanced on a vanishing, non-existent present. Khusraw observes that while our foundational elements, the amahat, are inanimate, the living forms they produce develop properties their mothers lack. He argues that life and intellect emerge as these base materials reach their perfection through a gradual process of physical formation. The later Sufi mystic Jalal al-Din Rumi provides a roadmap of this underlying cosmic evolution. This animation visualizes Rumi's upward progression of the soul. He wrote, "I died as a mineral and became a plant. I died as a plant and rose to animal. I died as animal and I was man." Rumi's poetry reinforces Khusraw's framework. The traveler's journey did not start at the moment of physical human birth. It is a massive, multi-stage cosmic progression stretching back to the bedrock of reality. Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. Your support really means a lot and helps me keep creating content for you all. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Understanding this deep physical origin from base elements is the necessary first step to accurately plotting where the soul is ultimately heading next. Navigating this trajectory requires the right method of inquiry. Khusraw aggressively critiques what he calls the ignorant of the community, those who obsess exclusively over the superficial, literal surface of religious texts and physical reality, known as the zahir. This obsession creates massive social friction. These literalists wrongly label deep truth seekers as heretics, atheists, or bad faith actors simply for daring to look past the surface. This diagram illustrates Khusraw's requirikyorshin, an esoteric or batin approach. We must look beneath the opaque outer shell of the world to rigorously separate the permanent, underlying essence of reality from its dissolving physical forms. In the 20th century, the philosopher Martin Heidegger arrived at a strikingly similar critique of human distraction. Khusraw's attack on superficial literalists mirrors Heidegger's warning about getting lost in everyday chatter, what Heidegger called the they. Both argue that clinging to the superficial prevents us from authentically confronting our own temporal limits, or our being toward death. Superficial knowledge is actively dangerous to the human intellect. By entirely obscuring the deeply temporary nature of reality, it leaves the traveler totally blind to their impending end. If we shift our geographic lens, we can test Khusraw's highly structured models against Eastern Asian philosophical traditions. Khusraw's concept of relentless physical decay maps directly onto the Buddhist principle of anicca, or impermanence. Both systems reach the same conclusion. The physical world is in continuous motion, and clinging to it as if it were static is a profound delusion that traps the mind. But their solutions to this impermanence are entirely opposed. Khusraw demands aggressive, highly structured intellectual inquiry to conquer the decay. This rigid logic stands in stark contrast to the Taoist concept of Wu Wei, the practice of effortless alignment with the natural flow of the universe, rather than trying to categorize and control it. While Eastern thought suggests yielding to the current of time, Khusraw demands we actively engineer a rigorous intellectual map to survive its rapids. The physics of time and the evolution of the soul are only the foundational layer of Khusraw's survival manual. This blueprint visualizes the Zad al-Musafir. 27 chapters systematically map sense, matter, motion, the soul, and time. The core rule for the traveler is, you cannot know your final destination without accurately mapping your origin point. For Khusraw, a traveler who fails to extract these esoteric provisions from the world remains unprepared for the journey's conclusion, leaving them at risk of perishing in the void of the unknown. The mechanics of this 11th century map find echoes in distant traditions. His vanishing now mirrors Augustine's philosophy. His model of the evolving soul aligns with Rumi's poetry, and his observations on impermanence reflect the core of Eastern thought. Provisions for the Traveler remains a masterclass in intellectual courage. It challenges us to tear away the superficial layer of reality and build our own internal maps to survive the relentless journey of existence.